your side, you can rest assured that all of your needs will be handled in a professional and thorough manner. Robson, Scribner & Stewart is just that firm. They're there for their clients year-round, not just during tax season, to handle your needs and answer any questions you may encounter. At Robson, Scribner & Stewart, there is no client too small or too large. Their expertise ranges from the single individual to the largest of corporations. Get your return prepared by a professional who will use their years of experience to ensure that your tax return's outcome will leave you in the best possible position. Call them today at 694-4184. Robson, Scribner & Stewart. They're there for you today. Again, that number is 694-4184. Time is of the essence, so don't delay. 694-4184.
On the first and third Wednesday mornings each month at 9:05 a.m., Robert Colin with On Top of the World will be our guest as we learn all about the exciting lifestyle and new home choices available at Ocala's premier adult active community, On Top of the World. From time to time, Robert will bring guests, and you're sure to enjoy our little chats. After all, you deserve the world, and we bring it to you.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. It's time to get that new look started. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. Humidity is not your hair's friend. It causes your hair to capture moisture and leaves it looking dry and unhealthy. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. So let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too. 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon at 351-5358. That's 351-5358.
Hello, gorgeous.
That's right. It's In the Garden with Master Gardener, Carol Ann Baldwin. She's taking your calls, 622-9622. You know, I think now we got to put 352 in front of it because there's that emergency number that mimics some of the
right that they've got to put in the 3-digit area code for local.
Yeah, because I think there's a 928 number, and some of our prefixes are 928.
Right. And
it's being used for a national hotline number to the 928 number.
Gotcha.
Just 928.
Right.
You got to put in 352, I think. So 352-622-9622 is the number to call if you want to talk to Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin, and somebody does because they rung the phone right away.
Cool.
Good morning. You're on with Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin.
Good morning.
Morning, Hugh.
Say, yes, you have to dial 352 now to get anybody. So I don't know what you were kind of explaining what the reason are, but it's no big deal. The reason I called now, my little amount plant that I bought from Lowe's here the other day, all the little buds were browning out, and you suggested snipping them with the scissors, which I did. And then with all the rain we had in the past weekend here, I got a good dozen new little buds ready to pop, and it's really making me feel. I thought I was either not watering enough or watering too much, because all of a sudden the whole thing kind of like died off, you know. But I snipped those guys off, and the new ones are coming up, and everything's fine and dandy.
Fantastic! I'm glad it's working out. Yeah, that rain was a good one for anything that really likes that water. And just make sure, because the mums do like a bit of water, as compared to some of the other things. Don't let those soils dry out completely with the mums, because that's one thing they don't like.
Yeah, I'm going to water after the program here this morning. I'm going to go out and water. I'm going to actually water everything a little bit, because I get a full sun through most of the day where all my plants are. So like you say, that ground dries up pretty quick. Even though I had almost 3 inches of rain,
right?
Here, and but that goes through the ground pretty quick,
Well, with the cooler weather, the plants actually aren't using it quite as much. So watch that you not overwater. And things that are in the ground, because it's cooler, they're not taking it up. One, it's not evaporating, it's not drying up as quickly, and the plants aren't taking up too much. So watch we're not overwatering it this time of year too.
Yeah. I guess the mums are pretty hardy as far as cold weather, huh?
Yeah, yes they are. And now if it's going to drop down, below 32 kind of thing for any extended time, I'd probably figure out either if they're in a pot, can you bring them in for the evening, or put a sheet or something over and do a little cover over them. But they are pretty hardy with the cold weather.
Yeah, well, the mums are right next to the Hawaiian tea.
Okay.
So when I cover those up, they're going to get covered
They'll
up too.
They'll get covered too. Yeah, so they'll be happy.
Everything will be happy, and then the weather will warm up, and it'll get back to normal again.
Yep, that's it. We're in that cycle where it's going to go up and down, and hopefully we get a little rain with each one of the times where it goes down, so it keeps us watered, keeps the plants from going through drought stress here through the winter months, and just watch and take care of them. Now on the mums, you don't have to, but you might want to do a little one of the liquid fertilizer, the blue stuff, like the Miracle Grow type stuff that you would mix in a watering can. You might even want to do that every couple weeks. It's not an every week thing. And just you can get some of them where either you scoop it, do a scoop into your watering can. There's some now that you can just take and pour it right in the pot. Just have to read and check which one is which. If you're not sure, ask somebody in the store. That some of them are almost like a quick drink kind of thing. You see the
You want me to start doing that now already? Then, huh?
I would probably just maybe on occasion. You've had it for a couple of weeks. The fertilizers that they put in kept them going. You're probably talking. This is November. You might do it once in November, once in December, once in January. It doesn't. It's not a whole lot of fertilization.
What about the Hawaiian tea or Thai, where you call it?
No, I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do anything for him, just because he needs to just be kind of dormant. You see, the mum is blooming, and so you're going to have to try to keep that fed. But the Thai is going to be, he's just going to hang out. He's not going to grow. He's not going to do anything at this time of year.
Yeah. Well, okay, I'm enjoying these cool mornings, and I know my dog loves this cool.
Sure.
She's really bouncing on our walks,
Oh yeah,
and,
most dogs do love that first, especially those first few cold snaps.
Yeah, and we got rid of all that nasty humidity, and during the daytime it warms up real nice. Actually it's this time of the year to me is probably the best time of the year, with the cool mornings and the nice warm afternoons.
I like the warm afternoon. I can do without the cold in the morning, because I do have to go outside. If I could stay in the house, it might be different.
Yeah. All I can say now, where I'm living now, they've got a couple of swimming pools, and there's a lot of room in the pools right now.
Oh, I can imagine. Yeah.
They need to be heated pools.
They need to be heated. Yeah, they need to be heated.
Well, yeah, one of them is heated, but even still, when I drove by there the other morning, there was nobody in there. And usually, there's always the steadies by at least 3 or 4 people, but it was all by itself. A little steam coming up.
Sure. Yeah, it's not bad when you're in there. It's getting out. That's the hard part.
Oh boy, yeah. Okay, well,
right,
I'm going to do a little fertilization on my little mums down there, and we'll see. I'm sure they're going to be okay. And thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome. Have a great day now, you.
I think a lot of people like the less heat.
The less humidity. Yeah.
I'm not okay with 40 degrees. I'm just not.
I don't like.
I live in Florida for a reason, and this ain't the reason.
Right. Yeah. 40 degrees, 45 degrees is just cold. I mean, now the afternoon. Yesterday I actually warmed up a little bit, and today I'm braving it and wearing shorts. But
the one thing I do like. Is I will be able to leave this afternoon at 11 because it'll be 70, 71 still.
Right, it'll be nice.
I'm able to, for a few minutes, until it gets too hot. open my sunroof and windows and ride around and get the nice cool. That's too cold in the morning. And I say that being that in the 90s I lived in Boone, North Carolina, and I had a Geo Tracker soft top.
Okay.
But it had a good heater in it and everything.
Right.
4-wheel drive Jeep, like little Jeep thing.
Yep.
It was good for what I needed it for up there. But you always were itching
To put
that
top
first
down.
day when it warmed up.
To put the top down.
And you would put the top down, and you'd always do it on a day that was probably a little too chilly to do it.
You got to wear a coat, yeah.
But it was warm enough you could get away with it.
Yeah. When you stopped at the light or somewhere, it was warm, but when you rode, it was a little chilly.
Well, that's pretty much what I'm doing this morning.
Right.
I said, let's see how much I can handle.
Yeah.
So coming in, as I left the house, I had the wind, because, you cool the inside of the vehicle off to the outside, the windshield defrost quicker and everything. So I had the windows down, and I had the sunroof open. I made it about a mile and a half.
Had to close that up.
About a mile and a half. Had to close it up. The ears started getting cold.
Yeah.
The ears started getting cold. And you don't even have to turn the heat.
No.
Like my Cadillac, I had it on 67, and it was the heater because it was 43 outside.
Right. Yeah, it's just take,
What do you say to the people? And I know a guy here in town that he does this every year, and I think, why are you wasting your time? And he thinks he says it doesn't waste his time. It makes his plants come back earlier, hardier.
Okay.
He literally wraps all his plants with the first big cold snap.
Okay.
He wraps all his plants, but he leaves places where he can pull off to vent them.
Okay.
And then he puts floodlights, incandescent floodlights in there. And he keeps those plants, he's got a thermometer in there and everything, and he keeps those plants at a balmy 75, 76 degrees all winter long. And I'm thinking, and he takes vents off, and and I'm thinking, that's a whole lot of work for Florida. I can see if we were in Chicago.
Yeah, and even then, that most of those plants that he's trying to keep at 75 degrees probably don't need to be kept at that.
No, but
and
he
if
does
you
it every
can't
year.
enjoy it, and if you can't enjoy them, you're really just working. And working
but he
hard
swears he
on-
enjoys doing it.
Yeah, you're working hard, and when it's not that you just covered them, and during those 2 nights of extremely cold weather, to where you can undo it and go, I still have bloom.
No, he doesn't do that.
It's not. Yeah, it's this. Yeah, that's overkill.
Yeah, he doesn't
or
do that.
over survive or something like that. If you're planting stuff, I mean, we're subtropical, so there are certain things that probably would get seriously damaged even with some of our other, at 32. Most plants don't die until it gets 32.
I mean, he brings out
lower.
this system like it's almost like his Christmas lights or something.
Wow.
And sets up. Now, mind you, this is a man who works. I would guess he probably works 12 to 15 hours a week in his shrubs and gardens and everything.
Right.
So he puts in.
He puts his
Yeah.
That's
He's
that's
the
a
guy
lot.
out there he's the guy out there that's got his. He's got his music in. He's got the snippers, and he's taking off. He's doing like what's the tree? The bonsai tree. He's doing like bonsai work on his plants and everything. He's the guy that you can look at and go, that looks perfect, and he's still snipping and
Right.
even when he cuts his bushes, his bushes are cut pristine and
got
perfect.
the string line down the
Right,
line.
and he's still that's a
Wait
little
a minute, a little off.
So I think he's obsessive. He says he enjoys it.
If he's enjoying it, I think it's probably a little overboard.
Might be cathartic for him. Who knows?
Yeah, that's could be that. Of keeping.
I'm
that,
not doing it.
No. If it can't survive, and I mean, like I said, I am one that would be saying, okay, you're hitting a certain temperature. These plants need to come in, and they're going to live inside the rest of the winter. Until I either get tired of them being inside or whatever, and then they have to go back out. And so far they haven't had to come in.
He puts posts in the ground. He wraps it all. Because he can take the top off, which allows air to get in and out.
Yeah.
And it's not.
Well, I mean, I can see, and I actually had a neighbor one year who took one of the easy up canopy kind of things and put it over. They had some smaller bananas, and I think it was a couple cacti and things like that, and they put that over there and then wrapped that in clear visqueen, and they could open the doors, and so they made a big greenhouse.
Yeah.
And that was fine. You could roll up the sides or pull that plastic to where when we have these days and it would be too hot in there, it's, they could open it up, but they had a permanent thing to where they didn't have to run out every 2 weeks and cover them. They just would have to untie that, allow that to drop back down into place, and would keep it warm enough. So, I mean, that would be about the extent of my getting that carried away.
The only greenhouse I've ever seen that my grandmother had a greenhouse in Margate, but that's because she loved to grow orchids.
Right.
And I'm like, but you live in Margate. Mm-hmm. She's like, it's not warm enough. I'm like, it's Margate. In Margate's next to, Coral Springs and Fort Lauderdale and West Palm. I didn't think she needed a greenhouse, but my grandmother, it was her thing.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that was her place, and she had it right. That orchids can be a little more, if that's what your thing is.
But still in the Miami
40,
area.
Yeah, below 40. Yeah.
It doesn't get below 40 down there.
Not too often. Not too often.
Sometimes I think people can go overboard.
A little bit, yeah.
That's just as detrimental as not doing enough, isn't it?
Yeah,
at times.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. I mean, because you can do. A lot of times here, what we need in Central Florida is more of a shade house versus a greenhouse. We need something that will protect against
like all the
elements.
fern houses.
Yeah,
the fern houses
and
that you see.
Protect against the elements in an area where you're working with your seeds or your cuttings and that. But we don't need it in full sun because it'll cook. You get a 10 by 12 or 10 by even 10 by 14 greenhouse that's just solid plastic with no tinting to it, and it'll be 110, 115 degrees
in 70-degree weather.
Yeah, and so then you're throwing some type of with some type of shade over it. It's amazing how just a piece of shade cloth can then take that 110 down to about an 80, and which is okay, and I mean, but that's in the wintertime, even that they can be that warm.
Are we, with the change in weather like this and the change with the cold fronts about every 10 days,
or so,
and usually it brings water with it.
Right.
Is it paramount that we get our irrigation systems back up working and everything? Because everything's going dormant right now and everything. With the cold fronts, the water's coming through.
Right.
Or is that something that we start looking to repair them if they have breaks in them and stuff and get them prepared for spring?
That's moreover what you're doing is you're trying to get them to where they're going to work for spring. You may need to, because we don't always get sufficient water with the cold fronts.
Yeah, sometimes it doesn't rain.
Sometimes we don't get, or we get the light showers.
Right.
And it adds up to less than 1/4 of an inch of water. But at this time of year, we're really only watering every 10 days, anyhow. Yeah, 7 to 10 days.
And it's a 1/4 inch usually. Is that the measuring stick?
That would be, to me, if I get 1/4 of an inch of rain during a rain event with a cold front, everything's probably doing okay. Because stuff will slow down, and that's because I'm a little lower maintenance on things that I don't want to have to get out there and continue to prune shrubs. So I'm not going to overwater. I'm not going to fertilize at the wrong time and force them to grow when they should be just settling down and chilling out for the winter months. And the lawn, who wants to, if you want to have lawn in the wintertime, throw the ryegrass down because that's your exercise.
And
that
it grows.
Gets you out there. It'll grow. And it doesn't take a whole lot of extra irrigation except maybe once about every 10 days.
You got to worry more about birds eating that seed than you do.
Well, and even that, it germinates so quickly that it'll come up.
And it will green your grass up.
It'll green it up. And as you mow it, don't let it get super long, but as you mow it, that is putting fertilizer right back down in the lawn. So there's no need to fertilize that. We don't go out and throw more fertilizer because you need to fertilize the rye. No, you don't need to fertilize the rye. Rye's going to do its thing.
It's going to grow.
It's going to grow because if you threw fertilizer down, it's going to grow that bottom grass.
Isn't rye pretty much a weed? I mean, it's almost like a weed. It's the way it grows. The way it grows so fast and easy.
It grows quick. It's a great ground cover. It's great. It's a great thing to put nitrogen and organic matter back into the earth. So it's one of those things to where then, come springtime, because it's not like the first warm spell in March, we run out there and throw fertilizer down. No, we have to allow that grass to begin to come up out of a dormancy all on its own. We don't want to force it up by throwing fertilizer down. One, you can burn your lawn up. And two, it can be a waste of money. Because if it's not gonna take it up, why throw it down?
Is the transition from dormant to back healthy and alive though elongated with the grass if it has to compete with the ryegrass that's just finishing, is dying out here? Because that happens at golf courses.
Yeah.
If you don't put ryegrass out on a golf course, when the Bermuda comes back, it comes back within a couple weeks. If you put ryegrass on a golf course, the Bermuda comes back. It takes 6-8 weeks sometimes to transition.
because it's covered. But yeah, if you're keeping that rye, and you could, because your rye is going to stay green
all year,
March, April. It depends on sometimes even into early May. I think I've seen some in the shaded areas. So it can be one of those things that if it's that you may need to, you're making sure that that's mowed, throughout the year, and that as you get coming into the season, that your grass should be coming back up on its own or coming out of that dormancy, that you're mowing that rye down to the height of what your lawn should be, and that should be enough to begin to bring that out. And even then, usually if I'm thinking on, like, say, a St. Augustine lawn, middle to the end of March is when we'll put our fertilizer down for those. And if you've been mowing that rye down to, say, that 3 inches, you should be able to get that fertilizer down there, help to wake that,
because St. Augustine's going to kill out the rye eventually.
And I mean, the rye's going to die off anyhow because it'll get warm enough. But those kind of things. And if you're doing your weed control first, you might even knock that ryegrass down a little bit using those. I'm not sure how effective those are on the ryegrasses.
I just wait. And I know I hate the first freeze.
Right.
But I look forward to the first freeze.
Okay.
Because the first hard freeze,
okay,
where it's below 32 degrees for 2 hours or more,
right?
Because it rids so much of the pest.
It sends. Well, I mean, even this cooler weather is sending them down,
right,
into the mulch underground.
I'm talking about fleas more than anything else.
Okay, yeah.
When you got 5 animals.
Yeah, when you've got
My wife says 6. I don't know who she's counting as the 6th. I don't know. I got 4 dogs. 1 cat. She says there's another animal. I have no idea who she's talking about. No clue. No. I've never seen it. Never. She swears we have one, but I've never seen it. Yeah. I don't know who she's talking about.
Who knows?
No idea.
But it's all good. It's all
good. Hey,
somebody,
if you're doing new construction or new home construction right now going on,
right,
you see people, because now they have horticultural plans and they have arborists that come out and plan yards and everything.
Right.
And in some cities, if you're moving into the city limits and all, you have to do that because there's city ordinances about if you take trees out, you got to put trees back and everything.
Yeah.
Is that something that can be readily done in these winter months without hurting the trees and stuff like that?
Oh, yeah. Especially if say you're going to bring in
mature trees, I'm sure.
A mature tree, it's going to, any of them actually, because it's cooler and they're not going to go through that stress within the heat of the, because again, in the summertime, though it's nice and warm and it's growing a lot of top. We want the root system to get well established before it has to do that. So in the wintertime, yes, we don't have as much water, but we can go out and we can take care of that. Versus in the summer months when it's so hot, yes, we're getting rain, but it's growing so much top growth that the bottom growth is something we need to pay attention to. If it's something that's a very large tree that you're going to be tree spade, it's going to be scooped up out of the ground at a nursery and brought to you and scooped and done. Obviously that's in the winter months is actually even more optimum.
What about when they roll out St. Augustine grass, or they have it
right, the lawn, that they throw in the sod down,
right?
They
put the sod down because it's winter. It's supposed to
be
dormant.
Right, it's going to get dormant. You still have to water it that 30 days to get those roots down. It's just that you're going to deal with a yard that's not pristine until the next year, because once say you put it down the 1st of November, you're watering until the 1st of December. I'm sorry, you're not putting fertilizer down in December.
No.
unless you really want to damage what you just
But
spent
that sod
the money.
will grab into the dirt even in the cold months.
It will grab in. It may take it a little longer to do so. That's when you really want to pay attention. If they bring it in and it's long, just let it be. It'll be okay. Get it established. Keep it watered properly, and then mow it when it needs. Don't mow it until when you reach down and grab a piece of that.
You can't pull it up.
You can't pull it up off the ground. Otherwise, you will hurt your grass. So, and anybody putting sod down for you should be able to tell you a lot of this stuff of the do's and don'ts. But yeah, this time of year, we're not going to put fertilizer down. I wouldn't be trying to patch an area with plugs this time of year, even though they're still available. They're just not going to grow very fast. To me, plugs are something you would do spring and summer. Same thing with seed. Seed, if you were going to put down, say you had a Bermuda lawn, wanted to overseed it, it's silly. The Bermuda's getting ready to go dormant. It's going to be brown on the next, come next month.
Yeah.
We got another cold
First
front,
time it gets 35, 34 degrees, it's going to brown
and
up.
It's going to brown it out. And so, we stay away unless it's ryegrass. Stay away from seeds. I would stay away from plugs. Sod will take. It's just not going to look pristine.
Well, they're not going to stop building houses, so they're going to keep putting sod down.
Putting it down.
December, January.
Right. And again, just keeping water is the biggest thing for that. But a lot of times you'll see that they do postpone putting that lawn down to the last minute.
Right.
When they're finished with so they're not damaging it by parking on it and everything else. If it's your own home and you've taken things out, again, good time of year, amend the soil. If it's new construction, realize they've got a lot of builder's sand, a lot of just fill, so it doesn't have a whole lot
good dirt
to it. I don't amend a hole, I amend an area. So you get your compost, whether or not you get it by the bag or you get a dump truck load, and you can work it in, or just I'm a lazy gardener. Put 2 or 3 inches down, rake it smooth, dig the holes, that mixes within, so you're good to go.
Carol, where can they find you?
They can find me at the In the Garden Facebook group page and down there at Lowe's and Lady Lake.
Carol Baldwin, Master Gardener Carol Baldwin. She's here every Tuesday taking your calls. Carol, see you next week?
Yep, sure will.
We'll be right back after this timeout. 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, WOCA, The Source.
Broadcasting from the Ocala International Airport, this is WOCA AM, W242CA FM, Ocala, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
USA Radio News with Lance Pry.
U.S. officials have arrived on Bosnia-Herzegovina soil trying to defuse a conflict in country. Gabriel Escobar, the U.S. Special Envoy to the Western Balkans, arrived Sunday for a 2-day visit. Apparently it all stems around a law that was passed in July banning denial of the 1995 Serb genocide. For many in country, that action is a call for war. School districts around the United States are reportedly mishandling emergency relief funds from Congress. According to reports on Sunday, schools across the country lacked oversight in the distribution of the funds, leading to new nature centers and turf sports fields instead of technology and mental health services. Congress approved just over $190 billion in aid to go to school districts in need, but many schools reportedly avoided detailing requirements. Monday Night Football saw the Steelers squeak by the Bears 29-27. USA Radio News.
From city streets to back roads. From road warrior to carpooler. There are some things you can always count on. Like the reliability, durability, and power of DieHard, America's most trusted auto battery. No matter where your journey takes you, count on DieHard to get you started on the road ahead. Available at your local Advance Auto Parts and participating CarQuest stores.
Just in time for Christmas, Mike Lindell has dropped the price of the standard classic MyPillow regularly $69.98 to $19.98. Now, queen and king size slightly higher, but that price includes a free press and pack bag so you can take your MyPillow with you anywhere. Go to MyPillow.com, click on the radio listener square, use my promo code USA, or call 1-800-951-8175. Support Mike Lindell and American Jobs and give MyPillow for Christmas.
New documents implicating Hillary Clinton in connection with the phony Steele dossier have surfaced.
Former Director of National Intelligence John Radcliffe joined Maria Bartiromo on Sunday Morning Futures. DNI Radcliffe told Maria that he turned over 1,000 documents to John Durham that implicate Hillary Clinton and Democrat operatives and likely top government officials in criminal activity that would be the basis for further indictments.
Our intelligence community and our FBI knew this ahead of time. That Hillary Clinton, we had specific intelligence that Hillary Clinton was creating a plan to vilify Donald Trump, to falsely accuse him of ties to Russia, and the intelligence community and the FBI knew this, and President Obama, Vice President Biden were briefed by John Brennan and James Clapper and Jim Comey in early August of 2016.
Everything related to the Steele dossier was known to be untrue against the Trump campaign.
Brad Bernard's reporting, USA Radio News.
Why you should leave it to the experts when it comes to removing trees on your property. That's coming up on This Land of Ours.
I was probably a little bit like you. There was a lot of talk about the COVID-19 vaccines. I didn't know what to believe. And I tell you, everyone has an opinion. Some of my friends got vaccinated and some were against it. But I knew this was an important decision, so I went to somebody I already trusted, my doctor. It's your call, so talk to your doctor or healthcare provider and make the decision that's right for you. You can go to getvaccineanswers.org for the latest information. That's getvaccineanswers.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Farm fresh Florida produce. It's the best in the world. From tomatoes and peppers to blueberries and strawberries, no one grows seasonal crops better than Florida farmers. But unfair trade practices are threatening Florida farms and families. The USMCA trade agreement will make it worse. I'm Agriculture Commissioner Nikki Fried. It's time to put American farmers first and protect our Florida seasonal growers today.
Most often, people want to remove a tree because it's planted in the wrong location, has grown too big, or become a problem with the driveway and sidewalk. Or perhaps the tree is diseased, dead, or cracked, making it a nuisance and hazard. The best way to take out a tree is to not leave it to amateurs. Even if you think you can handle a tree removal job on your own with a chainsaw and ladder, there's more to it than that. If the limbs fall down on the ladder, you could fall too. If the tree you need to remove is less than 15 feet tall, generally, landscape maintenance companies can take care of it for you. For anything taller, consider a licensed tree removal company. Typically, tree removal companies take care of the tree in 3 steps. They take it down, remove and dispose of the limbs, and then grind the stump into tiny chips. You can have the company do some or all of the steps. Some companies will even use a crane, chainsaws, and rope to make sure it doesn't fall on a house or garage. I'm Kathy Isom, Southeast AgNet.
When it really counts, depend on the source for the latest weather updates, keeping you ahead of the storm. 96.3 FM, 1370 AM, The Source.
Today will be partly sunny with a high of 76 to 80, then clear skies tonight, low 61 to 67. Expect showers tomorrow with a passing shower and a high of 77 to 81. Then Thursday we'll have sunshine and high clouds in the morning, then mostly cloudy with a couple of showers in the afternoon and evening. High on Thursday 80 to 83, passing shower on Friday. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm Holly Holden.
Hi. I'm Jimmy Buffett. Save the Manatee Club has helped to protect imperiled manatees and their aquatic habitat for decades, but there's still more work to be done. Threats from cold weather, red tides, pollution, and boat collisions continue to take their toll on the manatee. So let's work together to safeguard the manatees and the places they call home. Be the friend they need. Visit SaveTheManatee.org. Thank you.
You know what you want to do in retirement, but do you know how to get there? Tune in to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors, Sunday mornings at 8 to get answers to your retirement planning questions. Plan today so you can do the things you've always dreamt about doing in retirement. Listen Sunday mornings at 8 to Coasting into Retirement with Gary Marriage of Nature Coast Financial Advisors.
Our firm offers insurance services.
Are you wasting time boxing up packages and going to the post office or the UPS store? Are you tired of not knowing what you'll pay when you get there? Just Ship offers pickup service and flat rate packaging and postage rates, which takes the guesswork out of shipping while saving you time and money. So quit wasting valuable time and money. Call or text Just Ship at 352-234-3840. That's 352-234-3840. Just Shipped.
This is Ocala Talks with Tom Schmidt, bringing stories that are important to our community in and around Ocala. Plus, of course, a splash of sports as well. Now,